Happy Devils Wednesday. This is the State of the Fan Address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with the editor-in-chief of that fine website on the World Wide Web. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Talking Devils hockey. Get your tickets. Get your tickets. Goes on sale to the public tomorrow. Devils tickets, yeah. As Nick Villano and I are in the primetime radio studios in the North and South Jersey bunkers. The dog days of summer. Hello, Max. I met up with Max up in New England this past week. It was good seeing him. We went to Fenway Park. Nick.
I saw that.
I had some lobster.
I gotta go. Oh, it's a terrible Boston accent.
Yeah, well, I actually got cut off from the lobster roll one night, but I made up for it the next day.
Like you ate too many lobster rolls, and they said, "No more lobster rolls for you." Like, what do you mean?
Mrs. Wu was a little concerned about my consumption of all that seafood. She said, "You're no longer on a seafood and eat it diet."
Oh,
so she cut me off.
Okay.
Cut me off.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True
you never
story.
know. You never know. Seafood is always kind of a roll of the dice. I don't know if you know this, Sam. I used to work at a very nice seafood restaurant just outside of. Do you know where Island Beach State Park is?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a seafood restaurant right outside of there. It's like a bait and it's like seafood, like fish shop, and then above it is like a seafood restaurant with like there's some $200 plates in there. So we're talking a pretty fancy place. So I saw some of like the best seafood coming in, and this guy, the co-owner, the husband. I believe he would go out and catch his own stuff, or he would get stuff off the boat and then sell it. It was a really fancy place, but when you, even at $200 a plate, you're really looking at you're still taking the chance there that the seafood is good. You just can't, you can never know. It's unlike meat where for the most part you just have to keep restaurant standards high and cook thoroughly. We're talking about seafood. It could be fresh and you're still getting sick. So I get it. I get Mrs. Wu's concerns.
Okay. I just go by Google reviews and viral videos. That's
Sure.
how I pick my restaurants to eat my lobster rolls. That's what I do, and I'll stick to it.
They haven't steered you wrong yet?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can have a lobster roll every day. You know how some people like ice cream, and they can have ice cream for breakfast every day?
Sure.
I can have a lobster roll for breakfast every day. Would not bother me. It sounds disgusting, but that's how much I love lobster.
I'm trying to think. My wife is probably the same way. My wife loves lobster rolls. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would eat for like pizza, probably.
Yeah, pizza. I mean, that's the normal staple.
The standard, right?
Yeah,
I can eat
cold
for
pizza.
every meal.
You
Yeah,
know.
I love cold pizza. I love. You know what? I'm weird. I love microwaved pizza. I don't know. It's a weird thing about me.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what's good?
Yeah, I don't know why. What?
Taking Costco pizza.
Okay.
Because
Thick
it's
crust.
cheap. Yeah, it's cheap,
Yeah.
affordable. Take it home and freeze it. It's more cost efficient and tastes better than frozen pizza.
Well, I think you could buy their pizza frozen.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
They sell it frozen.
But that's what we do. You know,
Yeah.
in a pinch, you put it in a toaster oven and you're all good.
But Sam, there has been times where you're waiting for payday, and I've been like, just gonna go to Costco and get the samples.
I am guilty of that,
You
especially
make a meal of it.
midday. If you're available midday,
Mm-hmm.
the samples come out, and I have no shame. I will make 5 laps around the sample that I like the most, or I'll make up a story. Oh, my wife is down there. I'm going to get one for her if that's okay. And I'll take 2, maybe 3.
I'll try to do a lap if it's a premium sample. Like give it or I'll wait till the next go around. With the hot samples. I will say somebody tried to cut me in line, and I had my child with me, and I was like, it's for him, and they promptly went behind me. And he got one as well, but Daddy got his. So, but yeah, no, the people are savages when it comes to the premium samples, the hot samples, and I have no shame making you feel very small about yourself, cutting off a child so you can get your free food. But anyway, none of this has to do with Devils hockey, Sam. We have lots to talk about.
Well, we're making small talk as people are filing in the live chat room. That's what we do.
Speaking of too small, just like our talk has been too small, the ranking for Jack Hughes has been too small. Just I think it's like an hour before the podcast came out. We already have an article up on pucksandpitchforks.com by new writer Damien. Jack Hughes was ranked outside the top 10 centers. Sam, I mean, that ranking had flaws all over the place. I will say I appreciate that Nico Hischier got at 14, but Jack Hughes is a top 10 center in this league. Go away with this, the best ability is availability crap. I get it on the surface, but we're talking about rankings ahead of the season, and he's available right now. So, again, I continue to say this, Sam. That injury last year was a fluke. And it stinks because I don't know what it's going to lead to. But if Austin Matthews took that hit, he would have the same injury. If Connor McDavid took that type of a fall and that hit from behind, that very illegal tripping, he would be injured. It's not. Last year wasn't a Jack Hughes problem. It was just it was a bad circumstance because it was the same shoulder that he hurt in 2024, and it's that part I get. Being like, I have to make sure that there's no repercussions from this, but the whole he can't stay healthy. I get the argument on the surface, but the nuance of it is so much more than that. He showed no signs of injury at all last year. Up until that play, and was playing at a phenomenal level, out of his gourd. I don't think he played well at the Four Nations, the best on best. I think there was a little bit of I don't know if it was culture. I don't know what it was. He just didn't look like himself. But everything else, he was the Devil star. He was driving offense. He was leading the best power play in the league for most of the season. And then, Jack Eichel went and tripped them.
It's really unfortunate because after that Four Nations, he was on a different level. He was at a different speed coming out of that break because he had played in that Four Nations. I think Jack Hughes, that experience he got from Four Nations, is going to be good for him and the New Jersey Devils. Unfortunately, he got hurt in that play against Vegas. We did not get to see that Jack Hughes because he was actually on another level, maybe one or two steps ahead. He was fast because that tournament, especially that final game, they were that was probably the best hockey I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. No, both the Canada-U.S. games were just incredible. But here's the thing. I like, and this is probably going to be a terrible analogy, but I love Jack Hughes with a chip on his shoulder. I think when he is doubted is when he's at his best. And I think that's why you saw the best of him coming out of that tournament, because so many people are like, oh, this guy's not going to make the Olympic team. He shouldn't be on the Olympic. He's not one of the best American players. And he's like, okay, bet. And just was destroying people, like you said. And honestly, that mindset is a little bit of what got him hurt, because he was trying to get into the play, and then Jack Eichel, he stopped on a dime. Jack Eichel didn't, and, hurt him. But here's what frustrates me, Sam, is I end up I have to argue both sides, because I do think Jack Hughes has to prove he can stay healthy. I am frustrated that he's really only had 2 fully healthy seasons under his belt. That does annoy me, and one of them was a 56-game season. I am frustrated by that, but I can't say that because we got doomers on the Twitter sphere who will say the most insane things. There's a contingent that wants to trade him for futures. We have no centers, and we want to trade Jack Hughes for futures.
I'm done rebuilding.
That's what they don't think it's a rebuild. Jack Hughes is a top 10 center. He's better than Nick Suzuki by a lot. Nick Suzuki is so vastly overrated. We need to stop. I think Nick Suzuki's a good player. I think he's a good player. That's it. He got 89 points last year, which good for you. You had your first ever point per game season. Everything went right for him. If you're a Canadiens fan, I think you should be ecstatic for having Nick Suzuki. He came over in what trade was it with Vegas? Oh, Pacioretty, right? Max Pacioretty. I believe that's the trade that brought Suzuki over. Great pickup. He's, I think he'd be a great Nico Hischier type center, like a 1B. If they could get, their 1A center, then I think Montreal's really cooking. Montreal is flying high this offseason, thinking that they're a Stanley Cup contender. I just don't see it. I will outright say that I was wrong about Lane Hudson. He's a really, really good defenseman, especially on the offensive side. I will say that I like the acquisition of Noah Dobson. I don't know if he's a $10 million defenseman, but I like the acquisition. I don't know if Dougie Hamilton's a $9 million defenseman. So, you pay for the guy when you need the guy. But do I think that Nick Suzuki is a top 10? I don't. At least not better than Jack Hughes. And then Mark Scheifele is the other guy ahead of him. And I just look at it and I'm just, is there any general manager in the National Hockey League that if they had Nick Suzuki or Mark Scheifele, that they wouldn't trade them straight up for Jack Hughes? Is there anyone? I think all 32 GMs would replace Scheifele or Suzuki with Jack Hughes like that, even with the injury history, even with all that comes with Jack Hughes. I think 100% of the GMs would trade Suzuki or Scheifele for Jack Hughes today.
Straight up?
Straight up.
Straight up? I would agree with that assessment. Normally I don't agree with you, Nick. We're on a roll right now. I think we have some common ground on something.
But listen, we're killing it. I kind of want to see. I'll be completely honest. Toronto should be just as bad as we are, because they ranked Austin Matthews 7th. Which, I'm sorry, but what are we doing? This is just stop doing these lists just to make people mad. You look like idiots. So here's the list. It's McDavid 1, McKinnon 2, Draisaitl 3, Barkov 4, Crosby 5, Eichel 6, Matthews 7, Point 8, Scheifele 9, Suzuki 10. I would have Hughes 8th, but I wouldn't lose my mind if you had Braden Point ahead of him. It's kind of where I'm at. I think Braden Point's a great player as well. So 8th or 9th, I think is where Jack Hughes should be right now. And again, maybe people were saying, like, why are you getting so mad? He was 11th. Do you think he should be 8th? Like, that's insane to get this. No, like, you're sending a message when you put a guy on the outside of the top 10. Like, the graphics come in 10s. Jack Hughes is not on this graphic because it comes in 10s. Like, you send a message when you put a guy in the top 10. The rest of the list is Hughes at 11, Robert Thomas at 12, Sebastian Aho at 13, Nico Hischier 14, Dylan Larkin 15, Tim Stutzel 16, Rupert Hintz 17, Tage Thompson 18, Macklin Celebrini 19, Sam Bennett 20. Now, the Stutzel contingent is going to be mad because we had a list 2 weeks ago that said Stutzel was a better player than Hughes. Like, it's the people want, like, they've just been saying that Jack Hughes has been great for so long, and then he turned out to be great. And that's not interesting. So we got to get it clickbaity up in here. We got to throw out some haymakers just to do some Stephen A. Smith trash. And listen, like, we get mad at this NHL Network list every single year. We were praising them last week because of how they ranked Jesper Bratt. But, you know, they wanted me angry, they got me angry, and I'm angry. So congratulations. You got the reaction you wanted. You gaslit me. And now I'm on fire. Now I got my mentions are a mess, Sam. My mentions are a mess. It's August. My mentions shouldn't be a mess yet. We should be clean in my mentions. But with Luke Hughes not signed yet, which we haven't even talked about yet, and there's ranking, we're a mess.
They won't announce that till preseason. You know how the Devils
I think we're
are.
gonna wait till September. I think we're gonna wait till September.
They like to mess with our heads. By the way, I'm still working on my jersey, Palat jersey. So when I have it ordered, just like the John Marino jersey, I have it ordered and custom made. That with non-refundable, by the way. That once I get that Palat jersey, they're gonna say, "Oh, Palat's traded, and we're not bringing back the jersey." You know, there's a movement.
I think it's I think it's a strange thing to waste your money on, but you do you, bro.
Believe me, I don't want to waste my money, but I know Short Sky has been pricing it out for me.
Well, I mean, I wonder if you can get one cheaper on. Can you get? Wait, let me see if there's
No,
one.
no. Don't say it because I found a cheap place, and if you say it out loud, then somebody's going to take it, and then I'm out of luck. You can talk to me off air about it.
Okay. Do you think there's what percentage possibility do you think that Palat's traded before the season starts?
Traded or bought out or all the above?
He can't be bought out.
He can't.
No.
I would give it a 70%, 75% chance.
You think it's 75% chance he gets traded, or that he's on the roster?
That he gets traded.
Are you do you have Fitz's number or something? Like, what's going on here?
No, I may not have Fitz's number, but I got a gut, and I got a gut feeling on these things. Because when I buy that jersey, he's going to be gone. I know it.
70.
Up to 75% chance.
75. That's. Do you know what I think it is? Before opening night, do you know what I think it is?
What?
10.
10?
I think 10% chance he's traded.
10?
I think they explored all avenues. I think I would put 75% chance that he's traded before the playoffs, like before the trade deadline. But I think he's on the opening night roster. Here's what I think is going to happen, Sam. I think the Devils have made serious movement. Well, here's what I think. One of two things is going to happen. Either the Devils already have a big contract for Luke Hughes in place, but they want to do their last possible cap circumvention BS. So they're going to sign him for 1 year and then give him an 8-year deal on top of it in January or February that pays him the $9 million. But the 1-year deal will be for like $5 million. Or they're just going to give him the 8-year deal. It's going to be for $9 million, and they're going to put Kovacevic on LTIR. I don't think we see Kovacevic till the earliest January. I think you could stretch it until March, and then that's when you deal with the Palat thing, or the Mercer thing, or the Hamilton thing, whatever you need to make it work. I think they trade Palat. But before opening night, I just think they've addressed all those avenues. And teams just didn't seem at all interested in spending up to the cap, which I'm curious how the players feel about that. Because the whole point of the salary cap is you want 70% of them to spend to it, right? That's the ideal situation. Right now, nine teams. Did I count that right? Eight teams have more than $10 million in cap space, and two more have $9 or more million in cap space. And these aren't like bad teams, Sam. This is Carolina. This is Columbus. This is the Anaheim, who said they wanted to compete for the playoffs. Anaheim has $20 million in cap space. This is Minnesota. This is Detroit, who said that they wanted to compete. Detroit has $12 million in cap space. And there's a bunch of teams with $5 and $6 million. The Devils have $6 million, so that's going to go away with the Luke Hughes contract. And I know there's a couple other RFAs. I know, maybe Minnesota is probably going to fall down because they got Rossi as an RFA. The Ducks have McTavish, right? I think he's an RFA, but I don't think that's going to be as impactful as some believe. I don't think that's going to be a drop in the water for them. But I'm looking at this, and that's a lot of cap space that's not being used. And you get it for the Sharks, right? The Sharks want flexibility to trade for a guy like Palat and maybe get an asset back, or one of the many terrible contracts that are out there. So I'm curious how the players feel about so much unused cap space. And all these guys, once we saw the Eric Haula trade, we saw Haula traded and the Devils got a positive asset back, I truly thought, and I think I said this on this podcast, that I thought Palat was going to get us like a second-round pick. And I was wrong. Flat out wrong. It was flat out wrong. But I will say, if he comes out and scores 10 goals in October and November, I would be like, look at this guy, 5 goals a month. What do you think of that? $6 million not bad for a guy who's on pace for, 25, 30 goals?
Then you try to trade him immediately.
Yeah. Somebody take listen, you need this guy. Top 6 forward right here. Stanley Cup pedigree. He's 2 rings. You can't buy 2 rings, but you can today. So I do think he's going to get traded. I think there's going to be a moment. And we were talking about this. Friend of the podcast, Cedric Turturro, he always likes to take the, how do I say this? He likes to be the other side for things you wouldn't expect. So he's arguing that Palat can be good this year, or should be better, I guess, at least, just because some of his underlyings, his analytics, the ones that you love, some of those analytics say that he was unlucky, I guess, is kind of the argument. But my argument is that he lost everything with that groin injury in 2022. He lost. It's not so much straight line speed, but he can't pivot. He can't get to where he needs to get to. His brain always tells him to go into the right position. He is still one of the smarter hockey players on this team. But his body does not have the ability that it thinks it does. So his brain is telling him the wrong thing because it's not compensating for the drop in ability of a 34-year-old man with a groin history. So if miraculously the groin, if he gets a little bit more elasticity, if he gets a little bit more agility back, I guess maybe, but I just don't see it. We've never seen it in New Jersey. He was really good in that Rangers series 2 years ago. And we'll always have that. I'll always cherish that series. That series is one of my favorite series that I ever watched as a Devils fan. But you can only hold on to those moments for so long. It's been 2 years, and he's just been truly dreadful the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. And what is there? There's 2 years left in his contract, so I think a team will be less worried. It's this weird psychology that I'd rather have it for a year and a half than 2 full years. I think a team will take it on. They might get a positive asset for it, not much. We're talking about a 4th or 5th or 6th round pick. And I think that's fine because the cap space is the asset. I'd even if somebody gave us a 4th round pick, I would take $1 million of it, make it a $5 million deal. That's the type, you can make that work for a year. That's about all I take though. I wouldn't take 2. I would take $1 million. But I think it's there. I think you can make that work for a trade. I just don't. I'm telling you, I think it's 10% that it happens before the season. Not impossible, but very unlikely.
Mm-hmm. Well, those were my thoughts. Would you congratulate me if Palat was traded?
Oh, yeah. I'll buy you a beer.
An Ann
First
Crew
round's
brew?
on me. Of course. What other beer is there?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because we're gonna have an exciting time for opening night. Oh, Sam, I was told I've been cleared for the wedding podcast.
Really?
So I'm ready. Bring an extra mic.
I will. It will be fantastic as the podcast is now open to your cocktail hour. Yes, we are for sale. Your cocktail hour at your wedding, bar bat mitzvahs, sweet 16, college graduation, high school graduation, or just for the heck of it.
Sam, I just got a great idea.
What's that?
You know how you used to do the football calls?
Yeah.
I think you should take viral wedding videos and do wedding calls. Do play-by-play for viral wedding moments. And then offer that. Offer the podcast for that. We will do play-by-play and color commentary of your wedding.
So for example, winning Vinny's wedding, right? When they go, should we do a live?
But listen, I'm just saying, it's and now here comes Uncle Tony. He's on his 6th whiskey and Coke, and he's talking to cousin Susie, who's about 25 years his junior, and he's trying to figure out what TikTok is. What is the TikTok? And the conversation's not going well for Tony. So he's going to try to do a little dance move to something that he has no idea what the words are. I believe this is the mumble rap, Sam.
Oh. And now, here comes the wedding cake. The bride and groom are at the cake. The knife comes out. Oh, it's good. The cake's in Vinny's face. Yeah.
Oh. And Vinny is back. He's looking, and right in the nose. Oh, no. The bride looks angry, but the crowd goes wild. We definitely have a winning toss right there of the cake, Sam.
And the electric slide celebration begins as the cake's being tossed around the wedding. Brought to you by the Let's Go Devils podcast. See, you can have this at your wedding.
This is great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine doing a play-by-play of the garter and the bouquet toss.
Oh, we can absolutely do that.
I just think I think there are not many more $1 million ideas left out there, but I think we got one on our hands, Sam.
All the single ladies in the shotgun formation. The garter snap. It's caught. It's good. It's good. Like that.
And here's the thing, Sam, because we got the post-production as well. So if you send us, you don't even have to pay us to be there. Send us your wedding video, and we'll give you a second version with our play-by-play color commentary of your wedding video. I think I've just come up with the way to become a millionaire for the Let's Go Devils podcast, and this is it.
Yeah, you know what? These are great ideas. I'm going to take into consideration. Even in football, there's that block kick. What happens? At the altar when it's asked if anybody had any reservations of these two getting married. That could be a call. That could be a shocking call, football call, made as well.
Well, the priest has asked.
Yes.
Anybody objects? We're looking at Johnny, her ex-boyfriend, who inexplicably got an invite. But the wild card here, Sam, is Billy. Billy wasn't invited to the wedding. Now we're trying to figure out why he's here. Is this the moment? Is this his moment? The pressure's on. Will he stand up? He's moving. He's grooving. He's up. His hand's up. He's ruining the wedding. Jenny is crying. Billy and Drake are fighting it out. There's pandemonium in the aisle. And there it was. The spear. Speared in the aisle.
Or if we get a sponsorship from Town Toyota in beautiful Ledgewood, New Jersey, where David Decker is selling Toyotas at a hot rate right now. Let's Go Devils podcast fans are calling David Decker up right now. I've got proof of that as well. That maybe we could do a football call when you sign your Toyota deal with David Decker at Town Toyota, beautiful Ledgewood, New Jersey, off of Route 46.
He could sign all the way. Touchdown.
Or
Toyota.
When you get down to the negotiations, and sometimes you got the number you want, and then you said, put in a free oil change, and then boom, David Decker gets it done.
Listen, you need like that tense music too. We'll bring some production value. Bring that tense music.
I've got tense music.
You got that? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music?
I don't have that, but let's just for fun. We're going to be closing out the podcast soon, but just for fun. I mean, I've got The Lonely Man, Incredible Hulk. I got that music. I got the Bugle Call. Yeah, I've got Unsolved Mysteries. You ever hear that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got that one.
But I'm thinking, do you know what I'm talking about with that tense Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I feel like is that fair use at this point? It's been 20 years.
You know what? It's the internet. Everything is fair use till you get the cease and desist letter. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, this podcast has been stolen before, so you know.
Oh, totally. People steal our stuff all the time.
All right. So, Sam, I'm ready for plugs.
Yeah.
Now that we're this train is off the rails. We're driving through the city at this point.
Yep.
All right. So, pucks and pitchforks.com. I have so much. You're gonna see probably 20 articles between now and our next podcast. I'm gonna be a writing machine. I have so much to talk about. It's Records Week at Fansided, and I'm going to be writing about 10 records you had no idea former and current Devils hold. I'm not talking about franchise records. I'm going to be honest. All About the Jersey beat me to that one, so I have to wait to write that one because they kind of I don't want them thinking that I'm stealing their stuff. So I'm going to put that one out in September. But as far as records go, I'm going to write about 10 records that you didn't know that Devils held, and they're interesting records. And we're going to have some other Records Week articles coming out. We're going to have so much to talk about this Jack Hughes thing. I think we're going to have multiple articles coming out. Vinny, speaking of Vinny, he's back and writing for puckspitchworks.com. He's going to write about the path forward for Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, and Brett Pesce when it comes to making the U.S. Olympic team. Their path to making the U.S. Olympic team, which is interesting. You got to remember that, Brett Pesce made the preliminary roster and Lane Hudson didn't. And sort of Luke Hughes, just saying. I just put up an article talking about why I think that 1 year and then 8-year contract option is now feasible, even with the new CBA. That's up on pucksandpitchworks.com right now. I told you Damien just wrote a piece on the Jack Hughes ranking. We'll have plenty more about the ranking information. We're going to have a newser about that. John Bailey just wrote about Tice Thompson, who signed in the KHL. Just kind of like a story of a guy who, and there's too many of them. Riley Walsh was another guy. We didn't even get to write about him, but Riley Walsh is another guy. High hopes, looked like he was going to be a really good player, flamed out pretty quickly, and is now in the KHL. It's happened to a couple of Devils high quality draft picks. So, but there's endless articles on pucksandpitchworks.com. We're going to have new stuff every single day. Like I said, my guarantee to you is between now and next Wednesday, including next Wednesday. You can give me next Wednesday as well. 20 articles. That's my pledge, Sam.
Wow. And I'll be at pucksandpitchforks.com to count each article.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Alrighty, well, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank all those tuning in to this podcast, dropping the podcast at midnight as the Let's Go Devils podcast continues. The season is upon us very soon, Nick. I'm getting excited. Getting very excited. Yeah. We're starting to get into that preseason form. But don't you worry. We'll be here. And, yeah. Alrighty. Getting out of here. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com. Till next time, let's go Devils.